Thank you. Hit the like button as you're coming in. Hit the like button as you're coming in. Let's do a quick warm up. I was just on TikTok, just in the background. I was listening to a show on TikTok, and I heard a few things, and I thought it would be interesting to use that to warm up today. I heard a few social media things. By the way, whenever I say social media things, I'm talking about all ages. All ages. So a young man was there. He was telling a story, and he was trying to see, he was trying to help other men, essentially. And he told the stories. I guess he's been married. He's married, and they've had, I think they have two children or something like that. And I'm posting the Men's Club picture on the screen. How many of you guys watch Men's Club? I think it's a good show. Did they come back? I wonder. It's one of the shows that my wife and I used to watch on TV, on YouTube rather. But anyway, I haven't seen them in a while. But anyway, I put the Men's Club picture on there just to, it's a Men's Club conversation. So, gentlemen, this segment is for you, actually. Excuse me. So he told the story. He said his wife of for a couple of years. They have two children, and the wife had a second child, I think. And then she came home and she said, you know what? She's decided to opt in to do the tummy tuck. That the doctor, they're somewhere in the UK. The doctor said, they're going to do tummy tuck. And he said the wife already knew how he feels about, anything surgery, BBLs and stuff like that. So the wife was like, you know what? We're just going to do, it's just a tummy tuck. It's not really a big deal, Hit the like button. Thank you. Hit the like button. And welcome, Chinye. Is that Chinye? Yeah, Chinye, welcome. So he says, okay, they're going to do a tummy talk. No big deal. It's just something very quick. And he was like, okay. He said they're going to just tuck in the stomach, stitch the area, the extra stomach stuff. That's all they're going to do. And he decided to, okay, all right, no problem. As long as it's just that simple. And her and her sister started packing their baggages and things like that. They were about to travel for the procedure. And when she came back, he was looking at the whole thing. It was like, he's looking at the whole body like, this is not just the tummy talk. It looks like they did a full package. They've done the, breasts, the hips. Of course, they did the tummy tuck. And he felt like he was deceived. He felt betrayed. And it became a whole drama in their family that even extended family had to answer to it. And he said this was last year. The way he started is like it was a rough year for them last year, basically, going through this kind of issues. So these are the kind of stories that you hear sometimes that you're like, as a man, and then again, frame of reference. I don't talk about frame of reference as often as I used to. Frame of reference, if you consider typically a man wants to feel like he's in control of his family, or at least he has every base covered, because it's his job to provide and protect. But somehow his wife has gone under the knife and literally experienced a breach between life and death, and he's completely unaware. As a lady, you might not be able to comprehend what I'm talking about, but a man may be able to comprehend it better. It's a terrible, terrible experience for a man to have. So anyway, he had to deal with it because that's his wife and the mother of his children. And he actually spoke to how much he loves the natural breast of his wife, and now it has been tampered with. And he has to live with that for the rest of his life. And you can hear his voice that he's somebody who cared enough about his family. Okay, so a few months later, the wife said, you know what, I'm getting in the business of beautician, skincare, weight loss pills, things to help women, feel, become better, I guess, physically, but also feel better. She decided to get in the business. I was like, okay, as long as you're just helping women, okay, same guy, okay, as long as you're just helping women to feel better and whatever, all this kind of thing. He said before he knew it, the wife opened a surgery shop. She's actually performing surgery for people. Now that one took me out, okay, because I don't know how you just start doing surgery without you. Do you guys recall the Anu story? There's a lady called Anu. She said not a simple surgery. Even the tummy tuck, right? Some people don't buy for that. For tummy tuck, right? That's crazy. There's a lady that was being paraded on the internet a while back, some couple of years ago. Some Anu lady that was performing surgery on people. I think the mother was a policeman in Nigeria. I'm not sure if she went to jail or something like that eventually, but she was being paraded around the internet as somebody who had actually caused a lot of harm to a lot of people. I think some people actually may have died under her custody while she was performing surgery on them. Listen, when the lady came back from the surgery, one of the things that she was saying is that my body, my choice. Okay, my body, my choice. I wonder where would a woman hear that from? Right? Where would she hear that from? She probably just heard that on the internet, right? There's some things she heard that on the internet or in a Nollywood movie somewhere, okay? There are a lot of things that you will watch on the Nollywood these days on social media that you might just find yourself repeating to yourself. Eventually, your reality will present where you will feel the need to use that rhetoric. I'm just saying, listen, a lot of people are going through a lot of stuff in their relationship, man and woman. And a lot of times these things are justified or justifiable in your opinion. You feel like you have your right. You feel like you have your right.
You're right.
You do. But that's where being considerate comes in. That's where compromise comes in. That's where the idea of a marriage comes in, right? You have to really assess some of these talking points that were pestering and peddling all over the internet. We have to start to reassess them, because while to you it's just an innocent saying, you have a lot of people repeating this talking point to support and justify some of the worst behavior ever. If you think that was terrible for a woman to go under the knife and go through a full package surgery, didn't tell the husband or lied to the husband and came back home and basically continued to peddle the lie, right? That, hey, it's just, she kept lying until it was just too obvious, and then it became a bunch of drama in their family. If you think that was a terrible thing for her to do, put a 1 in the chat. If you think your body a choice, put a 2 in the chat. Come into the chat. Rounding up right now this segment. If you think that's a terrible thing for a woman to do, yes, it's 2024. Modern women, modern times. Your body, your choice, right? Gentlemen, I'm sure you feel like that's a 1. Was it liposuction she did or tummy tuck? She did the full package. They call it the full package. They do everything. Okay, and they also offer it to women who just had babies. So she did what they call the full package. It's sold as a full package. The guy had to go on the internet to go and be doing research to know what was done. Right? You have to be considerate. And you have to really think about what that really means in real life. Never mind marriage. Just even if you're living with a roommate. My brother that you guys met a few days ago, I remember when we were still young men, we were in college. It was just him and I living together. And our father came here for the first time. We were graduating together, our first degree back in 2004. And our father came here, I think, in 2005, my father decided to stay. He retired in Nigeria and he decided to stay, So, and then he started to notice that, we now go clubbing. Like, yeah, we do club. Yeah, 24, 21, 22 year old men. Yes, we do go to club. We're finishing college. And of course, we did go to club, But it was a shocker for him. He didn't realize that, these boys that are raised in the church. So, so we just like, yeah, we're going out tonight. We're just hanging out, okay? Yeah. So anyway, there was one particular day, my brother, his phone was off. So he's more on the nonchalant side than I am. He said it when it was here anyway. He's more on the nonchalant side. I was like, it's free. Everybody go do all right. It's not like it's not considerate. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes you have to wake him up, right? So we were looking. He didn't pick up the phone, so my father kept calling him. So my father was here with us by himself. My mother was still in the jail for another 1 year at that time. So he kept calling. He now called me. He said, I've been trying to call Shola. Where is he? I'm like, okay. So I'm used to him doing that, but I just, when we live together, he's going to be all right. What's going to happen to him? But for my father, it was a big deal. And it was late at night. We're talking going into 1 a.m. or something like that right now. So he was concerned. So now he had a young lady that he was talking to at the time. And then she's like a sister to me as well. So I knew her phone number. So I picked up the phone and I called her. And I was like, is Shola there? And she was like, yeah. I was like, Shola, oh, yeah, sorry, my phone is dead. I was like, so we're not even talking about just marriage is the point I'm trying to pull out of this. We're not talking about just marriage. You live with another human being. Yes, you're a full-blown adult. Yes, you could do whatever you want. It just makes sense to be considerate. Like, they might start looking for you. Like, this is not just a marriage thingy. Some of these things we talk about are not just marriage thing. They're just, I guess it's not common sense, but I guess it's common sense. But if it was so common, everybody should just kind of notice. But some of us are more nonchalant. Some of us, we don't pay attention to the phone. So like, I know, my father is at home. At the time, my father was, he must have been around 55 years old or 58, something around that time. Yeah. And, maybe he might look for me. It's like 12:30 a.m. So me, I'm the kind of guy that I pay attention to things like that extra. Like, I just make sure that no stones are left unturned. That's my personality. So it's not something I can completely say I'm just righteous. It's just my personality. I am very particular. I pay attention to detail. On the flip end of that, my brother is a little nonchalant when it comes to certain things. If his phone is dead, he might not pay attention to it. If I get down from a vehicle, and I just finished driving, if my wallet is not in my back pocket, I know I won't feel right. Something is off. There are actually 3 things that need to be on me. My keys. well, I kind of like just pull out, the keys are with me. My phone, my mobile phone, and my wallet. Those 3 things have to be on me. There are some of us like that. We're not necessarily more righteous than the other people. It's just, again, awareness, right? Some of us can be also, we can smother people. Like, we are very particular to the point that we don't know how to back off sometimes. So self-awareness will teach you to know how to back off sometimes, right? And there's some of us that we're just nonchalant, we're not paying attention. Okay, use reminders on your phone and things like that, so that people don't run etasketa worried about you. So now, back to the story. As a man, most men naturally, right, you feel like it's your responsibility to take care of your household, your woman, your children, right? And the worst feeling, I can tell you for free, the worst feeling is to feel like my wife. That's got to be one of the worst feelings. My wife has gone under the knife and I wasn't aware. All right, I'm not saying there are no exceptions like weirdo men that don't pay attention. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, when you're dealing with this, any form of relationships, and of course, especially marriage is not your mate at the end of the day. Shout out to Uncle Beno. Welcome, sir. All right, you have to be considerate. Just a little extra effort goes a long way. Just thinking about other people, That's all I'm saying. My elder are clubbing. Imagine. Exactly. He was alright though. He made out well. He made it. Like he was okay after the fact. At least we know now. People don't know how to human anymore. Checking should be a social skill. Thank you. Every responsible adult should practice, generally speaking. Exactly. Just check in. Hey babe, I'm a little late. I'm running late. No. I'm not gonna go under the knife without talking to my significant other. But there's enough rhetoric on the internet, on social media, that can make an average woman today feel like, he won't accept for me to do it. Let me just do it. Oh my, all right. Okay, you know the reality? You're actually right. Everybody's gonna be all right outside of that marriage. Yep. If you keep doing it, something's gonna break. If you don't mind, then I'm okay with it too. But there are consequences for this kind of behavior. I can believe you just mentioned respecting your partner. Good job, MOP. Uncle Beno. Suru ni. Just drink water small. We'll go get there someday. Suru. Suru ni. One topic at a time at least. Welcome, Uncle Beno. So let me greet you, Sha. Welcome, Black Diamond. Welcome. When someone has decided to misunderstand and misrepresent me, I cannot help their like. Wahala. Easy, no fighting. I don't know why anyone would take kind of that risk. What if she buy in that process? They are doing it now. And that's why I'm talking about it. They're doing it now. And that gentleman I just talked about, he's still married now today. This is a resentment he has to kind of deal with for the rest of his life at the back of his mind. And oftentimes when he shows up with the symptoms of this type of resentment, he won't pinpoint that behavior from years ago. You will just be wondering, why is this man acting this way? You'll be, as a wife, you might just be stuck in whatever is happening presently at that time. But you have no idea what that man has at the back of his mind from maybe a couple of years ago that he resents, but he wants to keep his home together. There's a lot of this kind of cases going on both sides, honestly, man or woman. But I'm talking particularly about some of the resentments that some of these men who call themselves logical are carrying around. They will still claim to be logical, but they're just emotional beings like the rest of us. So he might have suppressed the emotions that has produced, but the reality is that you can't bottle these things up. They will come out some way, shape, form, or the other. Of course, preferably you should communicate, right? We like to say that. Just communicate like an adult. Well, okay. We all become children in relationships. I want you to just pay attention to that. We all become children when we get caught up in our emotions. How do I know? Because you start flinging stuff all over the place. You get angry like a child. Both genders do that. And self-awareness will help a long way. If you keep saying you don't do that, you actually do it and you don't pay attention to it. It gets worse. All right. Good to see Uncle Beno, Chidima, and Chinye again. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Now, is it a divorceable offense? Irreconcilable differences? Is it healthy for that man to stay married with resentment? Oftentimes, they might not be able to pinpoint that it's resentment. Even the word resentment is a big English. You know that word resentment probably because you parade this type of shows more. An average human being don't even know what that means. Again, it's just it's a suppress. Sometimes you do that for what you consider to be greater good. So it might not be necessary. It might not necessarily be an active decision to stay in a marriage like that with resentment. Most people are inside of marriage with resentment anyway. That's why we tell people to do the work. That's why we tell people to join the Prestige Marriage Academy. Don't wing it, right? Because there are things like that you're nursing that is showing up in other ways. It's when we start to dig deeper that we start to find some of these issues, right? So I'm probably speaking from that place. Is it divorceable offense? Usually not on the surface. Not for a man, because why? She did tummy talk? That's why you're going to divorce? You might even have friends that will say, hey, Baba, how is she now? She's doing better, but she's safe. Just thank God that she's safe, right? But think about it like that. If she can get away with that, what other things is she getting away with? What other areas of life is she practicing that same behavior of being inconsiderate? Right? So something will break if she keeps doing that, But some people just have that, and they've concluded that, it's okay. Let me just have her take care of our children, and it's all right. That type of view would definitely shake up the marriage like crazy. My pleasure to see you too. Welcome, Natsu. All right, welcome to the Prestige family. Welcome, you guys. Shout out to you guys. A couple of things from that show that I wanted to talk about. So they kept talking. It's just like a man thing on TikTok where they're talking. And somebody was giving an advice. Said, learn everything. The person gave an advice. Said, learn. The person is giving advice to men. Okay, ladies, you could chime in. Okay, it's okay. But Uncle Beno, let me hear your thoughts on it. Somebody said, learn everything about her past, but don't judge her. That's an advice. What do you guys think about that advice? Learn everything about her past, but don't judge her. What are your thoughts around that advice? Let's see here. You know what? I'm just going to use that one. Let me put that. I'm going to drop that there. That's an advice right there. Somebody also said, what you know, you can't be consistent. Don't start it. This is a person advising men with regards to how they relate with women. What you know you can't be consistent with, don't start it. What do you guys think about that advice? I'm going to come and read all your chats. Okay, I'm just dropping some of the advice right now. About 5 of them. Okay, another person said, okay, so that's the last one right there. What you know you can't be consistent with, don't start it. Okay, all right, let me see. Here's another one, another advice right here. Never accept manipulation that is deceptive. What are your thoughts around that? Never accept. So number 8, this is advice number 3 right now. Okay, advice number 1 is learn everything about her past, but don't judge her. That's 1. Number 2, so put a 1 on what you are responding to so I can see it easily. If you guys don't respond, I'll leave it to people watching replay, and then I'll move on because there's limited time today. And then the second one say, what you know you can't be consistent with, don't start it. That's number 2. All right. And then the number 3 advice is never accept manipulation that is deceptive. Let me know what your thoughts are about that as well. All right. Here's another advice coming up right here. Okay. All right. So ladies, this is for you guys because you guys think you have monopolized the conversation. I'm telling you right now, some of these men inside of these types of conversations too, which is why there's basketballs everywhere. This is why there's basketballs everywhere. Some of these men are engaged in this conversation. Advice number 4, many narcissist women today. There are many narcissist women today. They will hurt you and teach you how to respond to it. All right. What do you guys? Okay. So I don't know if is that an advice or a warning? I'm not sure. Is that advice or warning? Voila. All right. So, but somebody had a question. Ladies, this was a question from a man asking these questions. Number five, fifth advice / warning, whatever this is, or question. The person said, why do they play victim after breaking up with me? Voila. All right, so those are the five advices right there. But let me see what you guys are saying, and then we'll take it from there. So for the first one that says, learn everything about her past, but don't judge her. Chinye said, as a human, it's not possible not to judge her. Thank you, Chinye. I think that will do justice to that, okay? But let me speak a little bit on this. Why do you want to go into her past? Okay, there's some past you will know anyway because you're getting to know this person. But there's some past. Why is it that this advice is taking a full ground here? Because you're looking for negative stuff. Guess what? Whatever you focus on in life expands. Okay, this is also true not just when you're about to get married to a person, even if he's inside marriage already. Some of us have resentments and we want to spend all the time talking about all the resentment. Yes, some things need to be addressed. right? You need closure on some things. But the attempt to cover all resentments is the beginning of destruction. Just so you know. Why? Because it's negative and it will expand. It will expand. It will just expand. It will get worse and worse and worse. So asking people to start on a clean slate is one of the most difficult things to do, but it's one of the greatest gift you can give yourself. Starting on a clean slate, right? That's not easy, all right? But we have systems in place for that in Prestige Marriage Academy to start on a clean slate. It's a very difficult process, but if you want to enjoy the rest of your life, that's precisely what you're going to need to do. That's what my wife and I did 7 to 8 years ago. And that's what was born out of it is this book. All right. Not to say that advice is BS. Anyway, let me see here. So for the second one, my people greeting a special welcome, Nati Jerry. So let me see. For first advice, what's the purpose of learning everything? And can you really learn everything? It's unrealistic. So it's just a waste of your energy on negative stuff. And Auntie, Baba, both of you go collect. Yeah, if you do that, you will hurt yourself. Chidima said for number 2, I agree 100%. What was the number 2 again? Okay, I can look at it on the other screen. What you know you can't be consistent with, don't start it. Now, here's the contradiction to that. Uncle Beno also said, I like number 2. If you can't keep up with 3 times, 4 times a week, don't do it. Okay. Black Diamond says, I don't concur. Number 1 is bad advice. The past lays precedence for the future. Well, the issue is the everything. You know, everything is just unrealistic. You should get to know the person. When you get to know the person, naturally, the necessary information about the past will probably come up anyway. Because if it's that important, the cream always rises to the top. It will come to the top. And even if they try to lie to you, they will tell on themselves. Just have to allow them to talk long enough from a place of free will. Those things will rise to the top. But that advice is coming from a place of dig it up. Baba, you find what you're looking for. Okay, and it's not going to be pretty. So hopefully that creates a better adjustment. So number 2, back to that number 2 thing, right? This is fire round for me. Fire round. Number 2, what you know you can't be consistent with, don't start it. Now, we all put our best foot forward. Okay, we all put our best. So they're talking about dating and relationship. Right? Listen, the best advice when it comes to any of this relationship stuff is awareness, self-awareness, but overall awareness. There's some things you're not going to change. Okay, one of them being complacency. I know we're like looking for cookie cutter, machinery, systemic, computerized solution so that people can continue the behavior they started, so that you don't end up accusing them of pretending in the beginning. No, it's unrealistic. That's one of the unrealistic expectations we set on ourselves. People will evolve, they will change. It will come off to you as their partner as they change and they are pretending or they've changed and all the. It's called complacency. It's reality. You need to learn how to mitigate that without trying to what's the word? Without making them into a god. If they're a human being, there are some things they will start, they can't keep it up. There are some things they will start just because they are excited about the idea of serving you. And then that will fall off eventually. When that happens, it's going to be an opportunity for you to give some grace, right? But also to like, hey, you used to do this. I used to appreciate when you used to do this. It's an opportunity for you to seduce, right? As opposed to, no, just continue what you started. You know, I'm talking about the context where they're coming from with this kind of advice. They're trying to mitigate the idea of people changing. That's an oxymoron. The definition of life is change, literally. Okay? It's unrealistic expectations of ourselves. It's not going to happen. All right, so let me see. So as far as the third one, never accept manipulation. Let me see if I can scan through and see if there's any points on about them. Manipulation equals to deception or not? Chinye, that's what I thought. You know, that's why I'm like looking like what is a manipulation without lies? I'm confused. I was confused too, right? What is manipulation without lies? Number Chidima says, isn't all manipulation deceptive? Is it manipulation because you're not even aware you're being manipulated? You're not even aware. You know, it might feel wrong. You're not even aware. So It's it might be a good advice in the heart of that person, but it's a useless advice, because if you're being manipulated for real, it is deceptive, and there's no such thing as good manipulation. Yeah, I was looking at it like, okay, what do you mean? All right, so all right, I see Chinye also agree with number 2. All right, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just adding context. That's all. It's not right or wrong. Let's see. Number 4 is a warning. Number 4, many narcissist women today, they will hurt you and teach you how to respond to it. So it was being presented as an advice. It's a terrible advice. If you use such statements, okay, particularly in the form of advice, I know you're saying many and you don't mean all. Actually, you do mean all. This is your outlook on life. What you're going to be looking for, your confirmation bias. You're going to find more and more. There's more than enough narcissist women. It's true, but you're going to find more and more of them. You're going to attract more and more of them. So, no, I don't know what I'm trying to tell you. You just got to be careful with this type of outlook on life, you know. If you think, women, there's too many narcissistic women, men or women, or Yoruba people or Igbo people around, you will keep seeing them. You're basically shooting yourself on the legs. That's really what I wanted to say about this, you know. Udemy says, learn everything about our past from whom? The ladies or others. Can you actually learn everything? It doesn't make any sense, ultimately. You know, when you think about what everything means, it's like, it's just another many of the advices we'll give. Maybe it's the word construct. I would generally like to, if I was in a conversation with the person, I would like to know what they mean. You know, by that. Uncle Beno said manipulation is not deception. As long as what manipulation to you is, it's not deception, we're all good to go. Number 5 is lamentation from, what's number 5 again? Why do they play victim after breaking up with me? That's break fast. That's definitely break fast. Let's see. Lamentation from someone who has collected is number 5. That's a fact. That's what that is. He actually asked a previous question before that. The question was, he said, how, the first question he asked was, how can I get a person who just dumped me back? Okay. And I answered in the chat. I said, why? Right? And of course, a bunch of the men said, like, just move on, bro. And it sounds like it's a young person just dating, you know. Just move on, bro. Well, we know that the answer is not that simple in reality, but ultimately, that's the mindset that he needs to start to engage. Moving on. If a person dumped you, it's probably a blessing in disguise. You probably can't see it yet, you know, at least temporarily. But yeah, in that case, I disagree with number 2 because people do change. People do change. So, it's just let's just be aware of some of this advice. It's not a matter of black or white, but sometimes when we give it, we're giving it from a very blind spot. We're not looking full circle. We're not paying attention to the full circle of what that means, right? All of us in reality will start things. When it comes to romantic relationships, we will start things that we can't finish. It's just the reality. Right? So now, if you can pull it off, not starting, absolutely, I want you to do that, because me too, I don't like the feeling of somebody starting things and not finishing. Me too, I don't like it, right? So just keep it up. Now, if I were your partner, I would definitely appreciate some grace, okay? Like grace, right? Sometimes I will start things, like I might be doing date night every Thursday, but the following Thursday, I might say, babe, something came up. Can we do Saturday? Or like, babe, something came up, and I might do something came up 2 weeks consecutively, right? As a matter of fact, I might even forget for a while. I'll be like, babe, what happened to us? Our date night? Like, you're right. Let's get to the date night. Absolutely. Or you know what's even better? You say, babe, I'm taking you out on a date today. I'm like, ooh, you're taking me out on a date? I feel guilty. That's supposed to be my responsibility, right? You see? Let's just all be careful with all the talking points, is what I'm saying. In real life, all of this stuff will get tested, and that's why you're going to need more than enough grace when it comes to this stuff. Let's see. Welcome, Babes Wind. Udemy says manipulation is deception. That is why it is called manipulation. That's literally why it's called deception. But you know, sometimes We make certain choices of how we use our words. As long as it doesn't mean deception, as long as it's not received by the other person as deception, you know, then we're all good. But if the other person is feeling a sense of deception or betrayal, that's the more important part of the conversation. It's not the words. It's if they feel betrayed, then we got a problem. All right, the relationship effectively has a problem. All right. Let me now remind you your past statements. Just leave Uncle Beno. I beg. Give Uncle Beno grace. How's that? All right. He said deception is worse than manipulation. Yeah, even deception right now. The meaning of deception is discombobulated in my head right now. I don't even recall. Is it lie or white lie? Which one is deception among them? At what point do we call it deception? Is lie synonymous to deception? I'm confused. It doesn't matter. But today, I do have some reaction stuff that I want us to get through. Okay. That was some men's club stuff that I wanted to bring up to speed. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. If you're watching this as a replay, contribute yours in the comments. I would love to read from you. All right, check out this next segment. I'll be right back. We offer evidence-based relationship and marriage resources and coaching to help you navigate the difficult times.
Don't just wing it. Learn the principles that work.
Download our 2 free books and book your complimentary coaching session now at manofprestige.com.